We're going to get started in just a moment. Just to let everybody know that this is going to be recorded. So if you're uncomfortable, you're more than welcome to shut your video off and listen on by audio only if that makes you more comfortable. This will be posted for any students that weren't able to make it tonight due to commitments. Anyway, welcome to the 2021 fall new student orientation. I'm going to let Dr. Julianne Dupuy take it away.
Thanks, Ryan. So thank you all for being here. We have a variety of people on the call who are here to help you. So if you have any questions at all, definitely feel free to reach out and ask. So we're just going to start real quick and we'll just introduce the Notre Dame faculty and staff so you have an idea of who all these people are staring back at you. So Donna, you want to just introduce yourself quickly, please?
Hi, I'm Donna Schisler, and I'm a graduate academic advisor for teachers who are coming to earn their master's degree or postmaster's certification in another area. Welcome.
You. Vicki?
Hi, everyone. My official name is Dr. Vicki Carroll, and I'm the Associate Dean in Southern Maryland, and welcome.
Jeanette?
I'm Jack Quinn. I'm an Associate Dean in the main campus, and I work with the PhD and case or educational specialist students.
Kathy Seitz?
Hi there. I'm the undergraduate advisor for the School of Education and work with the CAUSE program for initial cert.
Macy?
I hope my video will work. I don't think, yeah, I think I'm frozen. Sorry. I have weird internet right now. Anyway, I'm the brand new advisor at School of Ed. My name is Miss Cusley. Nice to meet all of you. Like Donna, I work with the master's students and students during education. Any questions, feel free to ask us. We're happy to have you today.
Kelly?
Hi, everybody. I'm Kelly Bull, professor in the School of Education. I'm counselor for our Honor Society, Kappa Delta Pi, and I teach both initial certification courses and some graduate courses as well. So we're really happy that you're here tonight.
Sheila?
Hi, everybody. I'm Sheila Mahoney. I work with our graduate students as well, and I work with the graduate students who are getting their initial teaching certification.
Excuse me, Evelyn.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I'm Evelyn Spratt. I am professor in the School of Education, and I teach in the PhD program, also a historian. So if you're interested in doing graduate work in history, I'd be one of the people that you'd be speaking with. I also am the director of the Elizabeth Morrissey Honors Program for the School of Arts and Sciences and Business in our undergrad program.
Lisa?
Hi, I'm Lisa Pallett, Associate Professor in the School of Ed. I teach the elementary math methods, clinical field, and I'm also program coordinator for the Math Instructional Leader program. Welcome.
And I'm Julianne Dupuy, Associate Dean in the School of Education and also Associate Professor of Science and STEM program. So thank you again for being here. Our first item on the agenda is our welcome and kickoff by our Dean, Dr. Catherine Doherty. So I'm going to pass it off to her.
Thank you, Julianne. Again, my name is Kathy Doherty, and I am Dean of the School of Education, and I am particularly delighted tonight to welcome you here, whether you are in person with us tonight through Zoom or whether you're viewing the recording at a later date. I want you to know how happy we are to have you join our Notre Dame community, following in the footsteps of a long line of educators who choose Notre Dame as the place where they come to gain additional skills, knowledge, and practical experience in and out of the classroom, both in the K-12 areas as well as higher education. And I'm not going to take too much of your time, but I want to let you know that the School of Education offices are located on the 3rd floor of Gibbons. My door is almost always open, as are the advisors. And if you're around on campus in the area, don't hesitate to come by. but we're always available to you through Zoom or by phone or email as well. So thank you for joining us tonight, and I look forward to a very informative session.
Thank you, Dean Doherty. Before I forget, I put in the chat link to a short survey just asking you to give us some feedback about the orientation today, so we can make things better for future students. So the next item on our agenda is going to be a discussion of library services. And Catherine Strain is going to walk us through that from the library.
Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm going to share a PowerPoint really quickly just to start, and then I'll move to the library website in just a moment. So hello, my name is Kate. I'm from the Loyola Notre Dame Library. Today I'll be going over a very, very brief overview of library services and resources available both online and in person. I do want to emphasize that you will ultimately be having another librarian come into your class to give a little bit more information about more research information. So I'll be giving a very brief overview, but you'll be hearing more at a later date. Just so you're aware, our library does serve both communities of Notre Dame of Maryland University and Loyola University, Maryland. What that essentially means is that both communities can use all of our resources and services. So the library building is currently open. There we go. The library building is currently open. To enter in the library, you'll need to wear a mask. You'll need to use your ID at the door just to come in. There are 4 floors of available spaces to study. The study spaces include quiet floors, kind of communal or group study space on the first floor. And then we also have some group study rooms as well that are reservable. Moving briefly along to more information about our technology. The library has an innovation station, which is a library makerspace. What this means is that we've got access to some really, really cool technology, and it's all totally free to use. So included in the makerspace is a Cricut maker, a laser cutter, a button maker. We've got a couple of 3D printers. We've got a really high-tech sewing and embroidery machine, a virtual reality classroom, and a recording studio. And I know that sounds like a lot, but there's more information on the library website where I'll show you where to find out more. In addition to finding out more information on the library website, each semester we also host a series of pop-up classes about the technology. So this is where you can see the technology in action, learn a little bit more about projects related to them. In previous years, some classes have included learning how to laser engrave a photo with the laser cutter, an introduction to ArcGIS, which is a software related to maps and geographic information, and then designing and 3D printing a keychain, which is kind of a cool class as well. So definitely some good experience and hands-on experience with that technology. Moving on very briefly, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for this presentation so I can share it for the library website. While I'm doing that, the library website is located at lndl.org. If you are off campus, you'll need to use your Notre Dame username and password just to log in to access the information. Kind of the most important thing, if you walk out of here today and totally forget what I'm talking about, I do want you to remember how to get help. That's probably the most important thing. So there are a couple of different ways to get in contact with us. Those are listed if you hover over the help drop-down menu in the top left corner, and then click on Ask a Librarian. You'll find out a little bit more. There is one service that I definitely recommend more than, I'm a little bit biased though, because I really like it, that I recommend more than the most, and that's our chat service. What I really, really like about our chat service is that it's available 24/7. This means if it's Sunday, if it's 3 a.m., if you encounter a broken link, if you need some more help with finding resources, if you're just a little bit stuck, I definitely recommend reaching out over chat. We do have other librarians from other universities cover, the evening hours and the overnights. So it's not always us, but they do have access to our resources. And if they can't answer any of your questions in the moment, they'll forward your questions to us and we'll follow up with you the next day. You're also more than welcome to come into the library and ask a question, give us a call or send us an email as well. Another way that I definitely recommend getting in contact with librarians, maybe not second to chat's still my number one, but is scheduling a virtual meeting with a librarian. So you'll see that 4th bullet point there. Let me show you one other place to schedule a meeting with a librarian. If you go back to that help drop-down menu and click on meet with library staff, this will just give you a little bit more information. I'm going to go down to the research section. This will give you a little bit more information about what we can help with. Meeting with the librarian is good if you have an assignment coming up and a due date, and you want to kind of schedule out your different elements that you want to hit. So you want to, check in to see if you have, the scope of your research lined out, or if you are not quite sure if you have all of the tools or search strategies managed. I definitely recommend scheduling an appointment with us as well. So those are the ways to get in contact with us. Something else that I want to point out, I have a question in the chat about accessing the library building. The question is, do students have to have their ID to get in? We do need active IDs to get into the library building. And I think that's something that you can settle on campus, but that is something that's a requirement right now. Thank you for that question. Talking about getting help with the library. And the other thing that I wanted to point out is a couple of education-based resources that are a little bit special for you all. So I'll show you how to do, in just a moment, how to do a very brief search in our library, the main search of the library website right here. But this will search a lot of different databases that we have access to. And I want to show you how to get access to our subject-specific databases, our databases for education. So again, this is a really, really good place to start, but this is an interdisciplinary search. So if you know you want education resources, what you're going to want to do is hover over the search drop-down menu in the top left corner, and then come down to databases. And this will open a new window with a list of databases that we've got access to. And it's a little bit weird right now. I'm going to open up the page so you can see the different tabs a little bit more. But if you click on the All Subjects drop-down menu and then scroll down to Education, we've pulled out a couple of best bets. So these are databases that we'd recommend starting with. Again, these are all education databases, so the resources that you'll have here are specific to education, but these are really, really great places to start. Before I move along, I want to give a very, very quick introduction to a search, but does anybody have any other questions about it? I know I'm going through a lot of things very quickly, but does anybody have any questions about what I've gone over so far? Okay, and I do know I talk kind of fast, so if I move through something too quickly, or if you do have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself or ask a question in the chat. I should have said that earlier. Okay, I've got a question in the chat. Are there any areas in the library where we can unmask? I'm sorry, we're asking right now that everybody wear a mask in all of the library, but that's a great question. Thank you. Okay, so those databases that I just went over are subject specific for education, but like I said before, the search in the middle of the library website, it's interdisciplinary. So it's pulling information from a lot of different databases. And I just want to show you what a search will look like here. And I just typed in Baltimore Orioles as an example. And you'll see a couple of different things pop up. So as I scroll through the first couple of results, you'll notice that we're getting a lot of books. And you'll see that because of this little icon right here on the left side of the page. Another thing with these books that you might notice as well is that while one of these is at the Loyola Notre Dame Library, you'll see different universities in here as well. So this is University of Maryland, Baltimore, University of Maryland, College Park. These other libraries come up because we're part of a system of libraries in Maryland that share books together in kind of an easy and fast way. This system is called USMAI, University of Maryland System and Affiliated Institutions. I can only say it if I say it super fast or else I'll miss something. But what this means is that you've got access to just a lot more books and a lot more materials from these other universities. They're very easy to request and they come in pretty quickly as well. Another thing that I want to point out here is on the left side of the page, these limiters, you'll see limit 2, you see the scholarly peer-reviewed publication data as well. I want to recommend using those limits to your advantage if you do know that there are things that you want to limit here as well. Another thing that we've got access to that the USMAI reminds me of, and that I can show a tutorial of if anybody's interested, or you're more than welcome to reach out over chat if you want to learn more information, is our interlibrary loan service. So if there's ever a book that we don't have here or USMAI doesn't have, or if there's an article as well as a book chapter we can get it for you from a different library. And some of those libraries are from all over the world. So again, what this means is that if we don't have a book chapter, or article available for you immediately, we can go to a different library and get it for you. It's usually relatively quickly. It's about 24 hours for articles and book chapters. It's about a week for books. It's a little bit longer, but it's a really, really fantastic service that I really recommend if you know you have a little bit of time in advance that you can take advantage of. So I know that's a lot of information, but that's a very brief introduction to the library. Thank you so much for listening. Does anybody have any questions, or is there anything I should go over once again? Okay, well, thank you so much for having me here today. I'm really looking forward to working with you all, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Kate, so much. Okay, so moving on, Ryan Schaff is going to walk us through the website that we've created dedicated for students in School of Ed to give you some more support and some go-tos if you have any questions. And part of what he's going to go through is looking at the IT information, where to find the handbook, academic calendar, and then also talking a little bit about Brightspace, which is our learning management system, which is fairly new also. So I'm going to turn it over to Ryan.
Thank you very much. So I am going to place a link inside the chat box. And this link is to an accompanying website for the student orientation. It has just about everything that's being shared with you today. And I'm going to go ahead and share with you the home page. So make this a little bit bigger. Hold on one second. I think that should improve a little bit. Okay, so this is the home page for our student orientation site. And in it begins with our mission statement, which again, the mission of Notre Dame is to help you transform the world. As you go down, in a moment, I'll take you over to IT, but I wanted to show you a few important links that are on the home page. Number one is the academic calendar, which I'll pop open right now. And as you can see, it's doing a pretty good running record of all of the different important dates, 2021, 2022. And this is, they're doing an extremely good job in updating this regularly so that you see all the different dates and times and things that are coming up. So I'm gonna hit the back button. There we go. So anyway, the academic calendar is right on the home page. So this way we try to make this a one-stop shop for you. Also, and this is kind of getting into the IT realm, is if you're in school systems or if you've ever worked in another business and you've experienced their the company's intranet, or a place where they basically put everything, all your different resources into a hub, this would be ours. So Gator Hub is a student portal. In fact, it's also one that the faculty uses and the staff. So anyway, if you want to get to any instructional materials that you need online, you can come to the student portal to access it. Current student resources. As you can see, this is taking you right to the Notre Dame of Maryland. I'm sorry, Notre Dame Maryland University. It's taking you right to the main student resources that you'd have to use. Email, which we'll talk about in a minute. Brightspace, which is our learning management system. Web Advisor, if you want to register for classes or pay your bills. Bookstore, if you need to click on it and purchase a book. Get a link to the library. And even event scheduler. So, and the self-service, I believe, is for your passwords. If you won't need to update or revise your passwords. I'm just going to go right back to my page and go to, as if you see here, there's a tab that actually has help desk and I teach support. So if you're having issues at either on or off campus and you need support for any Notre Dame IT resources, you can contact the help desk. It is 410-532-5200, or you can also email them. It's helpdesk@ndm.edu. And the e-portfolio, which I'll briefly chat about in just a little bit. If you need any help, that is a School of Education resource that we really kind of take care of in-house. If you need help with Chalk and Wire, which is now called Anthology, you can contact Professor Madeline Ball, and there is her phone number and there is her email address. So for IT, connecting there. Let's see, I'm trying to find Web Advisor. Okay, there's also a link to student emails. So to talk about the policy for the School of Education, actually all of Notre Dame, we use a policy of, we use our Notre Dame of Maryland email addresses for communication, so that if you need to contact a professor, please use the Notre Dame, the Maryland University email account to do so. We like to, make sure that we're guaranteeing that we're getting communication to you. And the best way to do that is to use all of our connected systems. And, professors can easily contact their class with just a few clicks of a mouse and get you the information that you need in case something happens, God forbid. But it's just in case. And it's also, a lot of times people will give or try to use school system email. And unfortunately with school system email, a lot of times outside email is on, automatically goes to spam filters. So we do have to say there's a School of Education policy that you use your Notre Dame of Maryland email accounts for correspondence and communication when it comes to university business. If for some reason, anyway, there's directions here on how to get to your student email accounts. If you want to forward email from the Outlook account or from Notre Dame to another account, you can. I've put directions up there. I haven't tested them in a while, but they're directions that will forward them to like your Gmail or your Yahoo. I am going to warn you, once the academic year really begins, that if you're forwarding every single student email to your account, that you're going to get a barrage of emails. So I do suggest using this forwarding of email at your own risk. So please just be aware and beware. Anyway, so that is the student email information. Again, you go to the portal, you can click on that and access this. If you are new to the university, you should get your credentials sometime soon. IT sends that directly to you. So a lot of times, in fact, when I joined as a faculty member in 2010, I ended up getting a piece of paper with all my login information. So you should be receiving that shortly if you've just joined our university. All right, let's see, student email, IT. I'm gonna talk briefly. Okay, I showed academic calendar. I'm gonna go to Brightspace now. So Brightspace is a new learning management system. If you have been here in the past, we used to use Joule, which was a Moodle product. It was dated. I'm very happy that we've taken and embraced a new digital learning environment that is very robust. It's a great platform for communication, for 21st century pedagogical studies, and great. It's just a great online learning experience, in my opinion. And I'm not biased or anything. So just to kind of take you for a spin, anyway, Brightspace includes, the website includes a little bit of directions on why we use Brightspace, but also helpful tutorials. I know that if I'm learning software, a lot of times what I'll do is I'd rather watch like little 2 or 3 minute snippets of video. This way I can watch them and learn as I go. Brightspace is very good about providing instructional materials in the kind of these little just-in-time snippets of when you want to learn something, how to access your assignments, how to view your grades. All those types of little snippet informations are at their YouTube channel. So I give you 2 resources: a getting started guide and also a link to the YouTube playlist. So that's hopefully that can be helpful for you. I'm going to just go right to Brightspace right now. Just give you a quick little show. Is it going to nag me for my login? No, I think it's going to be good and not nag me. Let's see. I'll show you around one of my courses. Okay, so once you arrive, you'll have a few less menus, but you'll be able to go to activities. You should be able to see from tools, you can see your grades. You should be able to see any information that you'll have. If you go to content, you'll be able to see all of your class materials. As you can see, mine's getting ready to be populated with content. There's documents, there's resources, there's directions. You can even see video in here. It's all integrated into Brightspace. If you need to contact, let's see, there are message alerts. These aren't like, oh, I can just email my professor right away. It's if you're going up here to subscriptions, that is, if you can subscribe to certain discussion forums, if you want to keep track of them. But if you go to the messaging area, you can click email and email your teacher. I can't do that since I am the actual instructor, so I'm just going to hit the back button. It's fairly intuitive. It's helpful if your professor, a lot of times if your professor says there's something that you need to look at, and they don't see it, just sometimes you may have to contact your professor. They may have made something invisible and you might not be able to see it yet. So just go back and forth with your professor, just kind of keep them in the loop of things. You can always contact them. But Brightspace, let's see if I have anything website. There are ways of turning in assignments using Brightspace. There's ways of having discussions. Let's see if I have a discussion. They're usually little bubbles. Here's one. In fact, it even says discussion topic. You can go in and have discussion by hitting start a new thread. But you'll be able to, again, you'll really, I do suggest if you are more interested in the tutorials, always you can just go to Brightspace and just, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's really helpful for those little snippet videos of just-in-time learning. And again, it's just experience. Once you get started, you'll just learn as you go. The system's fairly intuitive. Let's see. The e-portfolio. I'm not going to do a deep dive into the e-portfolio. I will say this is the School of Education does use an assessment platform that you'll hear a little bit more information about as you start your programs. The e-portfolio is we contract with a company called Anthology. So we used to call it Chalk and Wire. That used to be its name, but of course with technology, a lot of times there's acquisitions. So now it's called Anthology. So if you hear that term Anthology in Chalk and Wire, they're the same thing. It's just a rebranding of things. You can get to there. I'm just going to go right back to my space here. I do have you will see Chalk and Wire right here, but I've actually listed it as Anthology. There is a link here to take you to Chalk and Wire, aka Anthology, right here. And you can tell it's the right one because it says Notre Dame and Maryland University at the very top. We know that we're throwing all these different technology systems at you at once, but again, we're all about just-in-time learning and about training. So we give you student directions on how to do anything and everything on setting up your account. Anything that you need to do that you would possibly have to when it comes to your instructors, how to set the account up. Once you have it set up, how to also send work to your instructor for them to assess it. And the directions are all there for you. And if you're a type of person that really likes video, there's also a 10-minute YouTube video that walks you through the entire process. I will say that there is, unless you're in unless you're in, I think that it's the GEI program and one other program, it's just escaped me for a second. It is a fee outside of your tuition. So, and the fee for that's $150, and it will purchase the account for you for a while, for 5 years. So you'll have this assessment e-portfolio, have access to it for 5 years. There's more directions. Again, here's the actual official e-portfolio policy with all the directions and all the information. If you need to, we're now dealing with this purchasing online. So it's we use TouchNet, which is what the university uses for those online types of payments. The link is there, and all the information that you would need is there. And if you need help, there is Professor Madeline Ball is there. You can contact her. There is her email address. Okay, so that is Brightspace, academic calendar, student information, IT. I think I have exhausted my topics for the night. Okay, I am going to turn this over to Dr. Evelyn Spratt on the honor code. So, Dr. Spratt, could you please take it away? I'm stopping sharing now.
Thank you, Professor Schaff. Can I share screen? Is that possible? Okay.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Can everybody see that? Okay. So I guess I should take it off of, make it look like a slideshow. I was asked to present on the honor code. Notre Dame is known for our honor code. It has a rich history in our community, and I just wanted to explain it to everyone so we, when you come into class, you'll understand what professors are asking about. So it's been a tradition here since 1936. It started out with basically our students were not required to have their tests proctored. Professors would provide the exam in the room, and students were there to take their test without any professors in the room with them. And how does this work? Students pledge to act with integrity in academic and personal life. And it really is a trust between professors and students. And so this is really understood as a privilege and a responsibility to be part of the NDMU community. The effectiveness of the honor code depends on the individual's acceptance of responsibility, and each member is really responsible for their own conduct and the conduct of others. So it comes down to each person making sure that they have the integrity that we're asking. The student's responsibilities, if you see in the University Student Handbook, and there's the link, pages 1 through 21, talks about academic and behavioral standards for our students. The prohibited conduct is listed there as well. If a student has not acted in accordance with the standards, they can be brought up to the honor board, in front of the honor board, and I am one of the faculty members that serves on the honor board. It consists of 3 faculty members, faculty members plus staff. We are elected by our peers each year. The head of the honor board is a student elected by her peers. She comes from the undergrads. And the honor board will meet to deliberate any issues and determine the consequences of the issue at hand. And so in the past, there have been questions of plagiarism that have been come up to the honor board. Believe it or not, last year, a lot of things that came up to the honor board was dealt with COVID. If students were having if they were living on campus, I went to many a session where students that were not living in that room went into somebody else's room. A student wasn't wearing a mask. I mean, it was a lot of different things, but these were things that were very serious for the community health, and the students were being brought to the honor board for that. We have an honor commitment, which is listed right here. It's also in our student handbook, that students pledge to take. I'll let you read that. And then we also have the honor pledge, which our undergrads pledge in public in a ceremony on campus in the fall. And it is a pledge that has been said since the inception of the honor code in 1936. So for our students, a lot of what does this come down to is that every assignment we ask that students will write that they have integrity with their work. And the phrase is, I hereby affirm I have neither given nor received help in exam, paper, assignment. And then they ask for you to sign your name. And so professors will probably ask you to do that. It might be in the syllabus, or they might talk about it at the beginning of class. And that pretty much sums up what the honor code is and what are the expectations for the honor code in the community of Notre Dame and Maryland University. Does anybody have any questions regarding that? Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Spratt.
Sure.
So Donna Fischler is going to review some of the student ID cards, where to get those. I know there was a question earlier, and then any security emergency alerts.
Hello. Okay, so for your ID card, you can get that through our security office, and the switchboard is on the first floor of Gibbons Hall, right at the main entrance. You can sometimes get your parking passes there, and if not, you can get them in the basement in the security office, and that's the sticker for your car. And then you can get your ID card in Rice Hall, the computer lab, and that is directly behind Gibbons Hall. And you can have your picture taken there, and they will give you your ID card, which will allow you access to different spaces, to the document center copy machines, and access to the library. So the Docu Center is also in the basement of Gibbons Hall. It has a post office attached to it, and you can have any type of thing printed there, and you can send it to document center at ndm.edu. They do posters, they do color copies, they do regular copies. There's also copy machines in the basement of Gibbons and on the 4th floor and maybe one other floor that you can use your ID to slide and have things copied there if you need them. So is there anything else I needed?
You need to have money on your card, though, in order to be able to print. That's one thing.
Okay.
And then the security, the emergency alert. Did you want to go over that?
Yes, and I believe that's in the chat. The link to that is in the chat, but the emergency alert, you can sign up for that. And anytime there is an issue at campus, if there's a storm warning, or if the campus has to be closed for any reason, if there's a downed tree, if there's no electricity or no running water, then you'll get that alert on your phone or your email, whichever you have attached to that emergency alert system.
Thank you so much, Donna. Okay, are there any questions? We're going to go ahead and move into our breakout groups here in a minute. It's just going to pause for a second and see if anyone has any questions. Okay, so on the agenda, that we had, there are different links for the breakout groups. There's a cause link, an MAT/ACT group, a master's, postmasters, and then PhD case. So this is, just put the link in there. Yep, thank you so much. So the links are in the chat. So we are going to have you just go ahead and click on whichever link that you, for the program that you're a student in. If you're not sure, then definitely ask us and we'll point you in the right direction. And then we're not coming back here afterwards. So if there are any other questions for the group or for any of us here, feel free to ask those now, or you can email us separately. And then Dr. Carroll, which group are you taking?
Southern Maryland.
Okay. So if you're Southern Maryland, then you will just stay in this room. You won't go to the breakout rooms. Okay. So if there are no questions, we'll go ahead and go to your room and have a wonderful evening. Don't forget to do the survey also, please. Let's see. Gabrielle, you're an undergrad student, so you'll go to the cause group.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just ask you, throwing me through a loop. I have in master's education, but I live in Southern Maryland, so I got thrown a little bit through a loop. Which one am I going to?
You'll be with me on this one.
Okay. Okay.
Kelly, what program are you in? Kelly, what degree are you seeking? Early childhood special ed. Are you undergrad? Yep. So you would go to the cause group. Okay, Vicki, I'm going to go ahead and hop into my group.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Erin.
Hello.
So what questions can I help answer, or, just overview? Do you want to know more about?
So with the program I'm in, I think I closed it out. Blanking on the question. So living in Southern Maryland, it's not expected that I'm going to Baltimore for this class, right?
Correct. And right now for the fall, definitely everything is virtual. So you'll have two types. If they end at a 90 or 91, they're asynchronous. All the others will meet at the time posted on the schedule virtually.
Okay. You said if it ends in a 90.
Right. Okay. There's first three letters or like education or special ed. Then the next three are your course number. The last two are what we call your section numbers. And if it ends in a 90, 91, or 92, that means that all your materials will be on Brightspace, that you don't have a designated time at all when your class will meet together.
Okay.
Everything will be asynchronous. Yeah.
How about 50?
All right, 50 is going to be where it says the date and time on the schedule that it's meeting. Your instructor will tell you the exact dates when it will be meeting. You probably won't be meeting all of the sessions, but they will tell you the exact ones, and it'll probably be on your syllabus in Brightspace.
All right. While we were talking with all this stuff, I was playing around and checking out on Brightspace and the library and all that stuff. If books or other class materials are needed up, will the professor reach out to me and let me know, or?
Well, there's two ways. You can contact the bookstore and they'll have a listing, and you could just do it all online too. Or Brightspace, the courses will be coming up soon for the fall, and your instructor will have a link there to the bookstore, and they'll also have on the syllabus the required text for the course. They might also have other recommendations, but they might not be required, just extra readings.
Right. Okay. Cool.
And you're fine with your program of study and everything?
Yep, I've got all of that set up.
Good.
I'm registered for class.
Excellent.
We're all paid. We're all good.
Oh, that's the best part.
Yeah.
Good.
My county pays for some.
Right.
Yeah, $2,000 per fiscal year.
Well, everybody helps.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I don't know that I have too much else I need to know about, because a lot of like the link and the presentations are all pretty self-explanatory.
Exactly. Please know you can reach out to me anytime, email, or please call me, because I definitely want to be there to help support you.
Great. Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to it, but a little nervous, but I'll be fine.
You're going to be good.
Yeah.
Definitely good. And like I said, don't hesitate to contact me.
All right, of course. Okay, thank you so much. You said we're not coming back to the main.
No, we're not
thing.
joining back again.
Okay, great.
Good.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.
Justin, can I help you at all?
Yeah, so I've been trying to join the PhD link and it's saying that it's invalid.
Okay, Ryan's online. He's going to help us out with that.
It's Kathy. It's Kathy's account. It's the link that she gave me for the account. The problem is I can't do anything because I'm hosting this.
Oh,
so
okay.
I can't go and jump off and do anything right now. So Justin, if you could just hold tight for 1 second, I'm trying to solve the problem.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. The next person, Huffs. I don't know the actual name, but it's Huffs, D, and then TE. Joanne, welcome. Hi, Joanne, welcome.
Hi, I'm having a hard time. I actually been logged off 3 times.
Uh-oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay. I belong in the PhD program, and every time I click it, it won't let me in.
Okay, Ryan's now trying to help students get into that. So hang tight and he's gonna be right with us.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Again, there's a Huffs, H-A-U-F-F-S, D-D-D-D-T-E. I don't know your name, so if you'll please unmute yourself and I'd be glad to work with you.
All right, folks, I'm getting it in the Skype thing in just a second. Okay, so I'm trying to bring it over right now. Let's see.
Thank you, Ryan.
Uh-huh. Okay, if everybody can, before you just click on it and leave, try and see if you can copy it and paste it also into your web browser. But Dr. Daugherty does say that it's working and it's on.
So everyone check in chat, and Ryan has put a link for you there in chat. Good, we got the two. I don't know, Ryan, who this other person is.
They could just be like listen passively or something.
Okay.
I'm asking Kathy if she has people in with her.
Okay. I saw Jeanette pop up once.
She was, I think everybody was trying to like, just like, oh, you know, the link's not working. The link's not. It was, as far as I know. I mean, Kathy
Right.
had to start it, so I'm not
Mhm.
sure.
Right. I think that's going to wrap us up for tonight, though, Ryan.
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and stop this and see if I can somehow connect with Kathy and make sure everything's okay.
Okay, good. Thank you
have
for
a good
everything,
one,
Ryan.
You have a good one, Vicky. See
You
ya.
too. All right, bye.
Bye.